So I just wanted to share something with you guys from Sorry. Anyway, I just wanted to share something to my fellow parents. By the way, I'm supposed to be posting a video today about my new wig. Yes, this is the wig. But I wanted to make a post to my fellow parents out there and just let you know to be aware and pay attention to what's going on in your child's school and their artwork. Because just like those little videos and stuff that we see, what are little mistakes that they make, like, you know, I don't remember what company it was, and I don't care what company it was because I'm not even going to say their name. But they had made the, you know, the African American boy wear the I'm a monkey shirt or whatever like that. I mean, it's just little subtle stuff that happens to let us know, like, you just need to pay attention and you need to check it and correct it right then and there, because you need to be aware. And not overly, but when your kid goes to school or your kid goes to daycare or your kid goes to camp, you have to speak for them, because the little, you know, subtle and, you know, undermining stuff that the teachers and counselors or whatever that they do, your child's not going to really understand. Just like when we go and watch the movies and stuff like that, they have little funny stuff like that only the adults get. It's the same thing when your child goes to daycare or when they go to school or when they go, it's stuff that the teachers will say that your child is not going to understand, but the adults get. So I sent one of my kids to, you know, whatever, his little program that he was going to, and they did a project with spelling their name. And he spelled his name and he came up with all these words, but the letter O, he couldn't come up with a word that described him. And all the words that he came up with in his handwriting were so positive and so uplifting, but when he got to the word O, he couldn't find a word. And the counselor or teacher or whoever, the person who is there helping, came up with the word, and the word he came up with was absurd. Now, the first thing that is wrong with the word absurd is none of my kids' names have an A. So he used the word O, or letter O, and spelled absurd. So that's the first thing that's wrong.
I'm gonna take over here.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
The dumb teacher who insulted the child could not spell the word absurd. He took the O out of the child's name and tried to spell absurd. Now, you're a teacher. You had to do 4 years of college.
I don't think they did.
Listen, to get a teacher certification, you have to do 4 years of schooling. In that 4 years of schooling, this guy failed to learn how to spell absurd.
That's number one.
That's number one. It's not, listen, absurd for everybody. It's not spelled with an O. It's A-B, okay? A-B. S-U-R-D.
Okay.
Okay? I ain't want to spell the whole thing, but my wife wanted to give me an action.
Please,
so,
because
you know,
they're going to think you couldn't spell it too.
I graduated with a 4.2. I'm good.
Anyway,
moving along, me being, even though I'm a hood nigga, I give you that.
Don't call yourself
okay,
a nigga.
Cool. But, again, I have a degree. I'm cool. So you will not, anyone, try to use words that you yourself don't know to degrade and bash my child unknowledgeable. My child may not know.
That's what I was talking about. That's what the whole point of this.
And a father.
And that's the point of this. The point of it, like I said in the beginning of the video that you missed, the point of this is to say, when your child comes home with artwork and paperwork and notes and all that stuff all stuffed in a book bag,
your responsibility.
It's your responsibility as a parent to go through the stuff. When we went, now let me tell you, we was on the way home. We turned around and went right back up to that school.
Why is that?
Well, my husband insisted because I didn't want to go with him because, you know, he ignorant.
I'm not. Listen, people. I'm not ignorant.
Ignorant.
But one thing you will not do
is come for my kids.
Is pretty much. You will not come for my children. Alright?
That's the point.
That's what we're not going to do. Because then,
and he,
as my wife say, I'm ignorant. You got to deal with the ignorant guy.
Okay. So anyway,
back on a good note, a funny note, but yet educational note.
Make sure you watch your kids and what they do. Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Don't just watch your kids. Watch these people around you.
Yeah, that's what I was... Exactly.
They're the biggest threat.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Your kid is not the threat.
Yes.
Your kid is not dysfunctional.
Right.
Your kid is not ADHD.
Right.
Your kid is
autistic.
None of that. Your kid is actually perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But we, as people, entrust our kids to people that have these degrees. Right,
sending them to school and all that. And camp and all that stuff.
Behind the scenes, what we don't know...
When you don't pay attention.
Exactly. Is that they're using words that they know that the kids don't know.
Exactly.
To say things that...
Undermining. That's the word you said. Or undercutting.
Inappropriate.
Or, right. Just like I said about the
well, it's going too long.
Okay, it is. So anyway, the point that I'm making is that when we went back there and I showed him, I said, you are not absurd, right in front of them. You are not absurd. You are not wildly and whatever else that, you know, come up with it. It's not silly, because he tried to say the word meant silly, but the word didn't mean silly. And then he said, oh,
silly.
He was silly.
Spell absurd.
He didn't even spell it right.
Insult somebody and can't spell absurd.
So when she said she vouched for him and he didn't mean this and that, when I drove home and I really thought about it, I'm like, the word absurd is not even spelled with an O.
That spoke to her character.
So, with that being said, you just make sure your child knows that you're going to take care of him and you're going to speak up for him and you're going to vouch for them. Because if not, then when they grow up in the world, they're going to think that people could take advantage. And that's what he is. Absurd and silly. Not even silly, just wild and all that stuff. Like a monkey.
People, the moral of this is always be vigilant.
Vigilant.
Watch your children.
That's what I was saying. And watch the people you keep around them.
Make sure that you give good guidance to your children.
Yes.
Make sure that you set your children on the right path. It's okay to outsource and try to get the help that you need.
But pay attention.
But always pay attention to the people who are watching your people.
Yes, your kids.
And anybody for us, educated people, we understand the difference. We understand what goes on in the society. Alright? Now, when we set our kids to these institutions, we look for our kids to come back educated. We look for them to come back with a clear mind. We look for them to come back to be whole individuals who can perform in society.
Right.
Not to take on a complex about who they are.
Exactly.
That affects their individuality as a person, which is long lost in the society. We have our children watching these rap musics and they're adopting the culture and the beliefs of these people. They are not their own identities.
Right.
So it's up to us as parents to make sure our children recognize and understand who they are as individuals.
And where they come from.
Only we as parents can do that.
Exactly.
So, all parents, today was a lesson.
Pay attention.
To pay attention and watch. Luckily for my wife, today I decided, you know what, I'm not going to sleep today. I'm going to pick my son up. And guess what I bumped into? This foolishness.
I said that part.
And me personally, I had to leave.
Yep.
Why? Because
Praise
as
the
an
Lord.
adult, you are not going to tell me after all the schooling and everything you did to get to the position that you are in life that you don't understand what the word absurd is. Not only understand, but you can't even spell a word that you just
When he didn't spell it right, I was done. That's when I realized.
You just used a word to insult a child that you yourself couldn't even spell.
Yeah.
So sad. So with that being said, parents, with all support, all love, please pay attention to your children.
Yes.
And make sure that they are getting the care and education that you set out for them to do.
Look at their
Do
paperwork.
Not allow for the people in charge of them to tell you that they are getting what you expect. Because they will tell you anything. Make sure that you stay on top of what's going on with your child. With that, we will conclude this video. Again, Vigilance. Bye-bye.